It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead. In this video, we'll be talking about whether Rick and or Michonne will return to The Walking Dead for the final season and what that might look like, and also the possibility of the CRM being a part of the story in season 11. There's actually a possibility that we might even see some CRM/Rick reveals or references as early as the bonus episodes of season 10 as well, which will break apart. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. Alright, as always, before we dive into this topic, if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to join our community. Also smash the like button and share the video if you enjoy the content by the end, and press the bell to be notified about uploads on the channel. Okay, so let's first talk about whether we'll see any Rick or CRM related stuff in the bonus episodes. Short answer is that it's extremely likely. The one that's more or less confirmed is something that happens in season 10 episode 18, which is called Find Me. In the description or synopsis of this episode, it's revealed that Carol and Daryl find an old cabin, which takes Daryl back to the years when he left the group, when Rick disappeared, as he relives a time that only the apocalypse could manifest. So with the synopsis and the title, which is called Find Me, I'm leaning towards us seeing something related to Rick and Daryl trying to find him in this episode. I mean, why else would they have a flashback from that period of time unless it's somehow connected to Rick? So in that episode, Daryl and Carol will most likely find an old cabin, which will be the same one that Daryl may have visited during the time when he left the group, when Rick disappeared. And just to throw this out there, this flashback will most likely take place after the flashbacks that we saw in season 9, when Daryl and Michonne were searching for Rick. So we know that Daryl, most likely in a flashback scene, will come across a lone female survivor. This female character may be the key to uncovering what happened to Rick. Like, I think we'll get a reveal that she may know about the CRM, or may have seen something related to Rick being taken away. That being said, I don't think that Daryl will get that piece of information. The audience will. The reason I'm saying Daryl won't is because we haven't seen anything pointing us towards thinking that Daryl has a feeling that Rick is alive. And if he did, in fact know at this time, he would have probably shared it with the others, which he obviously didn't. Also, there was a little bit of dialogue in an earlier teaser for these bonus episodes, which may hint towards this storyline, one where Daryl is searching for Rick. In that teaser, Daryl says, "I'm not gonna stop until I find out." And this is obviously linking back to the title of the episode that we just talked about, which is called Find Me. So I think he's talking about not wanting to stop until he finds Rick. Now the next thing that we'll see in these bonus episodes, which may be connected to Rick, is related to Maggie. Before I get into that though, I do want to put out a disclaimer. Everything I'll mention from this point on in this video is purely speculative and my own predictions. Even though the first thing about Daryl and the cabin was also speculative to an extent, I feel like I had more evidence to back those claims, so I would say that that was less speculative than what I'm just about to talk about. But in the first bonus episode, which is season 10 episode 17, which is called Home Sweet Home, we are most likely going to see a few flashbacks of what Maggie was doing during the time when she left the group. There is one picture of Maggie hiding behind the tree, which looks like it could be from a flashback scene. Now, the thing that makes it extremely likely that this flashback may contain some Rick or CRM references is the timing of it all. Maggie left the group sometime after Rick disappeared, most likely right around the time Daryl left the group. So it's very likely that if we see a Maggie flashback when she left the group, like around the time when she left the group, we might see something related to Rick's disappearance. Some sort of a clue about Rick's whereabouts. or maybe the fact that he was taken by the CRM. There's two ways they can do it. They can either have Maggie see something that leads her to realize that Rick is alive, or a situation where it's the audience who sees something. Let's take it back to the image I mentioned with Maggie behind the tree. That image could be Maggie looking at a CRM soldier or something to that effect, much like how Al from Fear the Walking Dead started coming across CRM related artifacts and even came face to face with one of their soldiers named Isabel. Now obviously it's extremely unlikely and unrealistic that Maggie knows for sure that Rick is alive, because if she did, she would have told the group. We know that Maggie sent letters to the group when she was away, so I'm sure that if she knew something about Rick's whereabouts or the fact that he's not dead, it would have come up in one of those letters. What's more realistic though is a situation where Maggie may see something but may not think too much of it and just walks away. But it's the audience that gets to see what Maggie just saw, would put two and two together and realize what this means and why it's significant. And that might give us some more information about Rick and the CRM. And if you put it all together, what Maggie may have potentially seen, which she may have dismissed at the time, and also something that Daryl may have found that wasn't significant to him until now, and the fact that Judith will most likely tell everyone about Michonne's message to her, about clues that she found that Rick is alive, we may just have enough setup for a situation where sometime in season 11, the group will start looking into the possibility that Rick is not dead, and they may send a search party to look for him based on information that was given to the group by Michonne, which she told Judith about. Now, as far as the CRM's involvement in season 11 and the idea of an all-out war between Commonwealth and the CRM, that's been a topic I have talked about in depth in multiple other videos, so I won't repeat myself here, but in short, I think we are most likely going to see the setup for this massive war in season 11, of course from the survivors' point of view. And the setup for this war from Rick and the CRM's point of view will be in the first movie, and it won't be until like the second movie when we'll actually see this war. But the last thing I want to mention is that they can potentially end season 11 the same way as they ended the comics, but at the same time build up a story where the group searches for Rick or starts to search for Rick, which will lead into this war that we talked about. Before I dive into that though, comic spoilers ahead for non-comic readers. If you are not a comic reader and don't want to know this information, you probably don't want to hear the rest of this because it will spoil a good amount of stuff to you. Things that they will most likely do to some extent. They might remix it, but they're most likely going to do it. So with that spoiler warning out of the way, what we might potentially see in the last few episodes of season 11 is a situation where after the group settles in their new home called Commonwealth, a group of survivors consisting of Daryl and Carol will venture out on a journey with two things in mind: look for Rick and the group responsible for his disappearance, and also see what else is out there. The final scene of the series may be very similar to how the comics ended, where an older Judith in this case, not as old as Carl was in the comics at this point, but older than she is now, telling the story of his father, Rick Grimes, to RJ. Much like how in the comics, Carl was telling his daughter the story of his father, Rick. This will then open up the doors to have Rick return, maybe in a parallel universe scene or a flashback, which would be great, especially if Rick is not going to return in the regular story in season 11. Now, what's very cool and what they have a chance to do here is an after credits scene, we might see something related to Michonne, like what Michonne is doing right now on her journey to find Rick. She may be with the survivors that she ran into in her final episode, and what they can do here is have Michonne get some hard proof that Rick is alive in this after credits scene. She might even see Rick from a distance, or even come face to face with Rick, something along those lines. And that could be how they end the series, and they can obviously come back around to this moment in one of the movies that they have planned, around the time when Michonne is expected to return to the Walking Dead universe, and around the time when Rick and Michonne will reunite. So in that way, it'll be like a big and a great tease for a scene in one of the future movies. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to discuss in this video. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, make sure to share and smash the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to join our community. And press the bell to be notified about uploads on the channel. Last but not least, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this topic down in the comment section below. But that's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.